Welcome to Document This, Controls, Features, and Usage, Part 1. My name is Kenneth Tazala, and I'm the owner of Clock Services, LLC, and the developer of this application. In this and future presentations, I'll explain what Document This is and how the interface is laid out and the basics of how to use it. What is Document This? Document This is an application developed to help you get organized with all your paper documents, images, PDFs, videos, music, Word documents, spreadsheets, and more. It stores all your information in a Microsoft SQL database. Document This makes it easy for you to search and retrieve documents at a click of a button without having to search your computer for generically named documents. Documents can come from many places. They can be scanned in, come from email as attachments, or the internet. No matter what kind of documents you have, we can help you organize them. Once you have activated the trial version or purchased a license key, this will be the number one window to open. Since this is a database-driven application, we need to open a database. The SQL Server instance, for most cases, will contain your computer name and the default instance of SQL. If you have not installed SQL Express or SQL Server, you may get a message stating that it needs to be installed. If you choose to install SQL, you will then see another window giving you the option to install either the full version of SQL 2014 Express or just the client software, which would allow you to connect to a SQL instance on another computer without having to have SQL installed on this computer. On another note, you must, and I emphasize must, have Adobe Reader installed. If you do not, the application will prompt you to install it. This application will not run without Adobe Reader. The database name will be the database name that you created. If this is the first time running the application, there is no database and you will be prompted to go create one. Don't worry, we do most of the work for you. The next two fields are the username and password. The default credentials are admin for the username and admin for the password, all in lowercase. To see the password, left-click on the eye and hold the mouse button down. The password will be displayed. Releasing the mouse button will hide the password again. The checkbox Local SQL Only limits the application to only search for SQL instances on the computer the application is running on. This speeds up the SQL search. To open a SQL instance on another network computer, you must uncheck this box and click the Clear Lists button, or if you know the computer name and the SQL instance that you want to connect to, you can manually type it in. Clicking on the Clear Lists button will empty the SQL Server instance and the database name lists. This is necessary when you want to switch between searching only this computer and the entire network for a specific instance. Clicking Connect will open the database and take you to the main viewing window. The highlighted section is the title bar. It shows the name of the application and the current window name. This will always be the first window to open after connecting to a database. The next part of the title displays the currently logged in user. In this case, the user is admin. Next to that, the title displays the currently opened database, the amount of storage used, and the maximum amount the current database can contain. This section is the tree view. This displays a hierarchical list of your categories, subcategories, and items. When you select an item, as shown here, it will display in green, so you always know at a glance what your selection is. The next selection is the main viewing window. This is where all your images, documents, and videos will be displayed. The next highlighted section is the Document Details area. This contains information about your document. All these fields are optional, but the more information you insert here, the easier it'll be for you to search them at a later time. You have the option of modifying the information in any of these fields. Once you do that, the Modify Document Details button will be enabled. You must click that button to save any changes you've made. The next highlighted section is the navigation area. It would display the number of documents assigned to the item you have selected. You can have several documents per item. A document is defined as any file that you may have uploaded into this application. On the right-hand side is a horizontal scroll bar that allows you to zoom when you have an image selected. This scroll bar is only active when the document displayed is an image. The last section here is the status bar. The left section displays the status of messages. You have three options for messages: display all messages, disable all messages, and disable error messages. However, there are some messages that are too important to block, so no matter which option you choose, they will always display. The middle section shows the current status or function when you hover over the mouse over some of the controls. The right section shows the current zoom level of the displayed image. This is only functional when the current document is an image. Finally, the arrow is pointing to the main menu. Now let's go look at a little live video. Okay, let's go through a live scenario of what we've covered so far. I'm opening up Document This after registering a trial version, and the first thing you notice is that it's asking for me to get Adobe Reader because it's required. Let's go ahead, and this is the prerequisite window that will pop up, and there's a link here for you to go out and get Adobe Reader. So let's go ahead and install it. Okay, Adobe Reader is now installed. Okay, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and close this window. Let's go ahead and open up Document This again. And now this is our initial window. And you notice here that the SQL Server instance and the database name are blank. So let's go ahead and try and find a SQL Server Express instance. And it does find some out on my network. But I want to try just local here. So let's click local. Let's clear the lists. Let's try this again. And now you see here that it says that I do not have SQL Server installed. So I don't want to search the entire network. And now it wants me to install SQL Server Express. I'm going to go ahead and install SQL Server. I'm going to install the full version. And I'm going to pause the video while this installs. Okay, as you see here, SQL 2014 has been successfully installed. Let's close this window. And now let's select again. And you see here now that I do have a SQL Server instance. By default, the installation creates one called DT_SQL Express. So let's go ahead and see if there's any databases out here, and there are not. As you see, it prompts us to create one. So let's click yes. And we need to give it a name. This name can be anything you want, just no spaces in the name. We're going to set it as the current database. Since it's the only database, this is the one we're going to want to open. And then we're going to click execute. Now it's gone out and it's created the database and created all the tables and the permissions and the connection string and everything that's needed. And as you see here at the bottom, it says that we set our new database as our default, but we need to restart the program. To restart the program, just click Done. Okay, the database will restart automatically, and we're ready to log in. Now, on a new database, the default username and password are admin, lowercase. You must enter that in. And here, as I had mentioned in the PowerPoint presentation, if you click the I, you get the database password. If you unclick it, it's back to hidden. And let's go ahead and click Connect. And now we're connected. Now, we have a blank database, so there is no information whatsoever in this database. And these are our screens. This is where you would enter in the data. And this is where you would view the data. This, again, is where you can modify entry information. Let me make this a little bigger here. There. Here's our scroll bar. Our navigation buttons. This tells us we have document 1 of 0, which is no documents in there. Let's go ahead and add one in. Let's go back to this page. And now this list box is empty because the default file setting here doesn't have anything in there because this document folder gets made. So we're going to come out and select one that I've already created. Temp images. And click OK. And now you can see that I have several documents in here. This first one is a PDF document. And as you can see, I've got a fully functional PDF application here in this window. Got all the tools of Adobe Reader, not Adobe full version, just Adobe Reader. I can create, I can edit, I can zoom, can rotate the documents just like you would normally in a PDF application. Here I have a RTF file, which is a text file. Now, anything that's not an image or a PDF document will come up displayed like this. It'll say no image available because it's not actually an image. And it tells you here that if you want to view this file, you need to double click. You can double click anywhere in this image, or you can double click on the file name itself. So I'm going to give it 2 clicks, and it opens up the RTF in WordPad, because that's the only application right now that's on this machine that's associated with RTF files. If I click on a JPEG file, now my zoom becomes active, and I can scroll around in the picture. Here's a zip file. Double click on it, and the zip file will open up so you can view what's in the zip file. Here's an MP3 file. If I click on it, it'll play the music. And let's close that, and then we're back at the main window here. So that's going to wrap it up for part 1. Thank you very much.